Hey everybody. Sorry for that. There was a quick router kick.
I'm a
We are
fucking
all
moron.
good.
I'm sorry, guys. It's all my fault.
Oh, he just has
Come on back,
restless
viewers. I'm
limbs.
sorry.
It's totally fine. We're sorry. Anyways,
cave.
Don't abuse your tech, kids.
Treat your tech right, and it will treat you right. I think last we were talking about is that Lynx is doing a certain amount of research into, at the time, I think it was Stink Miner and Petrochem. And yeah, he has a big obvious connection, and you could do more research into that first, but I think Lynx would have an understanding of, and I am subtly suggesting that research into these other topics will help you with that later.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's what Lynx is gonna do. It's like let's talk about other things before we, well, hit the
so
flight.
so either it's WazTech and shell companies, or shipping records and the ownership of those shipping supplies, whichever of those two you want to do first.
Let's see. Well, there's always a money trail, right?
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to accounting, there will always be a money trail. And I think Lynx would, especially as someone who's done accounting, like be able to more easily find that kind of trail, or at the very least, even if she can't find a specific company, she can at least trace where the money went through, because that's transactional data. She can figure out where it came from, where was it wired from, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Then I think that can apply to either of these two checks, and then I will let you roll some accounting, but first I would like you to roll some security check for just a security tech to just get into the systems that you want to get into, and we'll say that applies to all of the hacking you do.
Got it. With the +2 from tech scanner or no?
Yes.
Got it. So we roll this +2. 21.
21. You definitely are going to be able to get into at least most of the records. If there's anything that's super clamped down tight, you won't be able to, and we can roll again for that specifically. But for now, yeah, shipping records and like money trails are going to be pretty easy for you to find on either of these two subjects. Which one do you want to do first? It will help you sort of narrow down the second.
Are we talking about like for the two like WazTech and or shell company? Like that's
Yeah, so it's either shell companies or shipments and ownership. You can kind of try and narrow down the shipments based on the dates and see if you can get ownership through that, or you can first try and find out what shell companies are benefiting from all this and how are they connected to the various people you think they might be connected to, and then you can use that to narrow down shipment after.
I think
one way or the other.
I think shell companies would probably be the quicker one, right? Because she can basically she's gonna do that one first. That way she can have that data available for cross-referencing against possible owners.
Sounds perfect. So yeah, whatever check you think you want to use for that, for like looking into which company owns which other company. You have access to the records, so the check is going to be lower, but I don't know what skill you want to use for that.
Which company owns which other company?
Yeah, that's how shell companies really work, is like,
right.
Yeah, there's this company and they technically own this other one, and that's like a shell company for them to act. So that's kind of how you're going to track this.
Okay.
Is company ownership, financial records, stuff like that.
Okay. So I feel like so Lynx could go about this two ways. She could either look at it from like an accounting perspective again, right? Like once again, the money knows, right? Or she could look at it from a bureaucratic perspective, because paperwork. There's always a paper trail somewhere.
Either of those, yeah.
We're gonna. I think following the money hasn't failed us yet, so we're gonna follow the money though.
Always follow the money.
So 16.
You don't have a resource on this, but you do have some luck points if you want to spend those.
I think I will. I don't have that many left though, but we'll try it again, because I think that was not great. Okay, 20.
There we go. Much better.
Yeah, so yeah, you start looking into WazTech, and like you are sure it's going to be a shell company when you look into it, and you look at their online presence, but you very quickly find that they have financial records, and it's not money going out, it's money coming in. And you very quickly find out, no, they're the real company, and they have a bunch of shell companies. They own quite a few very, very small shipping and machining companies when it comes to like materials and stuff. When I say shipping companies, you would have to do another roll on like who owns the thing when it's shipped or not, but they at least there's like a few various different small shipping companies that own like 2 trucks across the country. There's even a few in like other parts of the world. They just don't seem as active, like they're more recently bought. But there's quite a few across the continent that are owned by this company that all seem to like have invoices, these like financial, like these payments of, oh yeah, WazTech helped us develop this truck or build this truck. None of them seem specifically about building robots. It's all vehicles, all autonomous electronic vehicles that they seem to have helped people build. Despite the fact that they definitely claim to like, oh yeah, we made these really cool robots, here's the specs, here's how you take care of it. You do not find any financial records for people buying that. But there's a lot of random shipping things. Generally, they built a truck for us, and they get paid for that. But they definitely also own those shipping companies. And there's quite a few across the city. They also own a few random ones that you're not familiar with. There's one that's like, that looks like it's security or gun tech maybe. There's another one that's like, that's maybe surveillance, like cameras and stuff. And with a 19 and sort of your, or I guess a 20 and your knowledge of this, Snakebiter doesn't own a controlling share of Petrochem, but he owns a controlling interest in the security and weapons ones owned by this this series of shells, this WazTech company. In fact, he owns basically an entire one or two of those, and the security one, that's the company that he used to that's one of his main companies he used to hire the security for this railway project.
Ooh, he's in trouble. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
yeah,
I feel like Lynx
remember,
at this point just has like this most like she's taking a leaf out of FoXX's book and just has like the shit-eating grin because she is just ready to just she definitely gonna want to talk to Dion about how to best whistleblow on this one, but ooh, he fucked up.
And yeah, none of these shell companies have had like
in the cookie jar.
And yeah, every single one of these owned by WazTech are like all right on that barrier between should be having accidents. Like none of them are quite wealthy enough to be considered for it, but they're all like literally right on the line within like 10 eddies of company value. It's kind of scary, actually. Hey, it is quite fitting and dramatic right now, isn't it? Music.
I know, right?
Yeah, so you also do just a little more looking into other shell companies that might have value, and in fact, some like might be right at that value. And in fact, you identify some of the shells from WazTech not because you find financial records for them, but because you find the shell company and follow its money, and it's like, oh no, it's actually being funded by WazTech also. And that gives you just one or two more lists. One is like some accounting stuff that's just like an accounting firm that can hire out, but just they've only been hired out for other shell companies run by WazTech. And there's like a research one. There's like a detective sort of Danger Girl-esque security and detective agency. It's a small thing.
Didn't Dion end having issues with 1, surveillance, and 2, detective research on his friends?
Yeah, but you look into this and none of them are really connected to this biotech guy that he's having problems with. This seems to be just a completely other issue, like this this guy that's trying to chase down Dion and his friends.
Right, but I think Lynx we could tie this guy in via that, because we know he's
Sure, you could frame this Antonio guy.
Just, you know, that's the thing. Sorry, like Lynx is just like thinking about, I can help my good buddy Dion with this at the same with this other time.
Let's let the woman work, all right? Let her do her thing. She cooking. She doing her shit over there. She got shit.
Like all you gotta do is like change a few of those money trails to let's say point to this guy instead.
Listen,
Money
got
talks.
to go on me. Have fun.
Sorry, Lynx is very much on the I would like to screw over as many people who have caused us problems as possible.
Uh,
All right. So, sorry. Is there anything else we have to take care of here? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I wonder if so Lynx is looking into this. I think she's also, talking with orcs and it's like, okay, so we know where the factory is. We can take this down. Because WazTech is a real company. Do you think maybe they have the servers that might be holding the AI?
like, maybe if you can find out where they're actually located. He brings up surveillance cameras from just like all across the country, even the continent. He's like, these are all the PO boxes. I haven't seen a single person go in and out and access them, at least not on camera. These are just here. Every once in a while, it seems like mail is taken there, and then it gets maybe returned to sender, and then it's kind of lost along the way. I assume that they don't want any physical interaction with real-world addresses.
Okay, because
Damn it!
like
I look away for
once
1
again,
second.
money trail, servers to hold AI, right? They must cost a lot.
It would take a big drain on the city's power, and generally cities hate that when they find those that are not paid for.
So, not only is the so if we could cross-reference, let's say, power drains, and as well as let's say like big shipments on materials necessary for building servers, right? Because they're this guy's smart. He's not going to actually buy servers if he can help. He's probably going to make them.
It's like, well, yes, although he might have already had a lot of those servers in his previous location down in like a Panama area. Remember, that's what we're pretty sure that's where he was at, and that's what Cheshire was doing for him.
But was he moving? The question is, was he moving the servers, or was he moving?
He would have to. He can't turn them off. Otherwise, he would die. That is him as far as the physical world is concerned.
Okay. All right. Sorry, because Lynx is like, okay, how do I also take care of this Musk AI that's bothering the heck out of her big bro too? It's like, okay, if we can pinpoint where this guy is, right? Then help bro, and then also pin the blame on other problems.
He goes, now if the servers are in the city, like we think they are, at least from a technology standpoint, they don't have to be right where the factory is, but there would be no reason for him to have like the same kind of wireless access that he did out in Colorado. If we can find this factory and we can get you into it, you should be able to find out where these servers are just by reverse hacking that. It might be dangerous, but you should be able to.
It's like, well, I've got you two backing me up, right? Let's see.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can't remote hack this factory then.
We can try. Really quick though, first, you have one last thing you want to research is sort of like the ownership and shipping stuff.
Yeah. Yes. That'll definitely help.
That's just going to be one more check of whatever one you think justifies that kind of financial record shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, I just financial record shenanigans. I think is just gonna once again go down to accounting, just finance, man. Oh, great!
Oh my God, you're so smart.
32.
32.
Yeah, so you find pretty substantial evidence that a lot of these shell companies around the city, these shipping ones, are given a job to go get stuff from, wherever they need the materials. And it is a lot of robot materials, but you do find a lot of records of other various materials for like construction and things, especially at about like the 10 years ago mark when you assume is when he like entered the city. I guess it's more like 15 at this point. You see that the records, technically, that these shipping companies drop them off on the outskirts of the city, the sort of farthest east point of the Haywood, Santo Domingo area. So they are not the trucks that FoXX found people talk about that don't have like advertising that went through. That is something you don't have a record of, but you assume is probably like a WazTech personal truck they've made that is just there for the final leg so people can't track it.
That would make sense.
And
Like, drop
so,
it off,
because
get
like
the auto.
all the records you found are for these official companies, these shell companies that are WazTech. They paid them for something, but it is a pretty strong connection, and a lot of them only survived because WazTech paid them money for something. Generally shipping, but you definitely find some financial records that don't match up with actual shipping records. So you're like, oh yeah, that was them making sure this company didn't collapse because they needed it. So at least as far as ownership goes, it was owned by someone. It just kind of drops off the face of the planet, but you assume WazTech about as soon as it entered the city. So there's not a way you can really track where it goes, but you had FoXX on the ground to sort of connect that dot for you.
Yep.
And I think it's through some of the shipping records that you're looking at, not just all these shell companies, but the ones that like Stinkminer is invested in, these other ones. They also get like records of shipments to supplies from these shell companies that are very trackable. And you find that Stinkminer wasn't involved in any of that until maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. His involvement in these companies is actually kind of recent, relatively. And he definitely waved through some of these shipments without being investigated far more recently. You also kind of, I would assume that sort of pings your interest, and this is the role that you kind of get a bonus on because you've been looking into that. If you'd like to roll just sort of, all right, but now, like, where does Stinkminer fit into all of that? What's going on? I think that this would be accounting, and then you get an extra resource point for this, but if you want to do another skill, I think that works.
For like putting it all together, where the heck is
Yeah, where does he fit into this financially, but both like government records, what is he doing?
Okay. Okay. Accounting hasn't failed me yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do security tech and you have like a thing that you're hacking into to get more official records as opposed to supposition, that could work. I just don't know what you'd be looking for.
I think if Lynx were to hack into records, so because she's already gone into the city hall with Manny,
yeah.
She could take a look into because if something has to go into goes in the city as a shipment, right? There has to be a record of what's going in, right?
Yeah.
So she could
I would say that you know that Stinkminer, any decision he makes on like waiving those records would also be on record. So you'd at least know when he's trying to hide stuff.
Yeah, and I argue the ones where he's waiving might be the most important ones to focus on.
Yeah, so
yeah, that would be like city records, probably records involved with these specific companies he owns a huge share in.
Yeah, so like Lynx could hack into those city records, cross compare them to the shipments, and once again, we got record data on what the supposed weight was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, at least once it got to the city and the point where it goes from shell company to, or like outside company to shell company, there'll be records of that.
Okay.
Like weight and stuff.
Because if there's a difference, right, I think Lynx could, I guess, have a think about, like, or at least what could that be. Also, if she knows what specifically he's waiving on, right, and which companies are being associated with it, she could have an idea of, like, okay, what is it, like, and also what the end destination is. Because if it's going towards the railway like she thinks it is, then our plan might have even more of a, let's say, impact than we expect. And also, it might be... Sorry.
You could roll a security check then.
Okay, because I was thinking, like, it would also have some very interesting implications on what Stinkminer has been campaigning on, because he has also talked about, let's say, enterprising hackers causing problems with the railway. Okay, that's a 17 plus 2, there's a 19, plus 1 more from the resources, a 20.
It's a 20. I'd say that, you know, that's a pretty good roll, but it is a 3 if you wanted to re-roll it. You can do 1 luck and keep those bonuses.
Let's blow 1 more luck. I have 1 luck point left after this if I do that.
You've blown all your luck. You're out of luck.
It's still 17. Ah, that's a 21 again.
Same thing.
Oh.
It's a... So yeah, it's still pretty good. You don't get to like any of his personal records, so you don't get like his actual communication. But there is a pattern you start noticing, is that before the point, like 3 years ago-ish, when he bought these shares in these shell companies, the security and like camera and like gun manufacturer. Before that point, any time that he acted around this railway, it was absolutely stymieing it. He was making it more expensive, more difficult. I think you even find, because your connection with hackers, several times he's like, oh, a hacker has prevented us from moving forward with this project, that like he definitely is the one who actually did that, and he's blaming it on some hackers that didn't do the thing. He actually paid like a security company to frame several of them to like have evidence of that.
Ooh, he done fucked up.
But at about a little after the 3-year point where he bought in these companies, it has a turn where he's actually promoting this thing being built. He'd been working so hard to prevent it that he actually had to take almost a year or two of helping it back on its feet, this project. So it has taken him a while to build it back up. Now, Petrochem still had some accidents preventing it from breaking away until super recently in that time period, but he wasn't the cause of any of it. It's like he started wanting it to get done, even while he was kind of like hemming and hawing about the project not starting yet. But yeah, you can also even like look back at some of his speeches, and you're not like a great people person, but there does seem to be something about the way he talks about it, shifting at about that time of like, no, I'm really working, it's like, there's less blame on hackers and stuff, and more like, hey, it's a logistical problem that we have to get this thing running again. Yeah, until super recently, until like actually about this 1 week point when Petrochem stopped having accidents, is about when he started hiring some of his own company, like security people, to be here and protect it. Like he's putting his personal guards against anything bad happening to it at all.
So he started investing in the railway, right? And the railway's underground.
Yeah, well, no, it's a monorail above ground.
A monorail above ground.
Yeah, it goes from like the edge of the university district all the way up through the upper marina, and then like around New Westbrook up into the Watson development and beyond. It's ostensibly for a bunch of different people of different locations to get to work in all of those places. He's never tried to prevent it from getting to the Glen, but specifically the part that was going into South Night City, he secretly prevented for years until he started investing in one of these shell companies, and now he's actually tried to move it forward.
That's pretty suspicious, because Lynx is linking this over towards the shell company, right? What benefit would Stinkmeter and by proxy the shell company have through a railway? And Lynx can only think of mass movement of robots.
Maybe, but I mean, they were moving robots great for years before that. Like, there's not more or less of them.
Yeah.
You don't think that that's like a logistic issue for them, considering they have just so many different shipping things, and people have been buying it off of night markets for so long.
Yeah.
That's not it's not something I think Lynx would think is very probable that they're going to move robots on this, especially because it's meant for people. Like, it's a public transit.
Yeah, like it's like Lynx is trying to figure out like what is the point, right? Like why? Because beforehand, right? Like she I feel like she's really cooking her brain, but she's not reaching that aha moment.
Roll me bureaucracy +3. We're gonna say the resources you just used are still applying to this roll.
Got it. 13 + 3 is 16.
16. These are all shell companies that are not really legitimate, and in fact, all these shipping companies, you don't know that they have real employees. Like, they're all automated trucks, there's records of people, but like, you dig into them a little and you're like, nope, that's not a person that actually exists, that's a fake employee. Which also makes sense why they're making so much good money, because they basically can say, we pay this person a good wage, and you don't think they actually spend money on that person. But that's not sustainable for any company larger than this size. You look at this bureaucracy, you're like, yeah, but you can only get away with that because you're a tiny company nobody cares about. If you wanted to actually be in charge of like a large number of employees, which is kind of necessary for being a major player, that can't last forever. You eventually need real people. And additionally, for that to happen, to become a major player in like shipping especially, you need to remove someone from the game to fit in. Otherwise, it's going to be a real long slog of fighting them. You know, someone like Petrochem.
I think I know where he's going with this. He gets himself reelected as mayor. He gets a bunch of people employed, same as what we're up to. He removes one of the major companies and then sets up the monopoly, and he's set for life for money, politics. He's doing the same thing we are.
Just worse.
That's brilliant.
I mean, yeah, it was our plan too, of course.
Yeah. So we're basically at like the we're almost up to the 4-hour mark. So I don't want to like take the scene away from you, Lynx, but if we want to kind of do FoXX's last scene, this like meeting that he set up, I think that's maybe what we do, and then we head on out.
I think that's a good idea. I think Lynx is also gonna. Well, I think maybe next time Lynx is gonna want to, let's say, do some more research. But yeah, we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think then what sort of the end of the scene is you sort of send out this idea to Doc and FoXX, so that FoXX, you know, like, Stinkminer's planning something, and it's probably along those lines. Like, you don't have to roll it, but you sort of human perception vibe check this idea, and you're like, yeah. Although actually, do you want to roll, like, some sort of insight into this? I don't know, streetwise or human perception?
I mean, I feel like Lynx had his plan pretty nailed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think she's entirely right. But if I can see if FoXX might want to add anything that's more helpful than that, I'll try to see if I can do that. I'll throw a streetwise at it. Why not? Here comes that. What are we looking at? 22. I'll take it.
22.
So she's absolutely right. You're like, yeah, that's definitely the plan, is get rid of Petrochem, build up one of these build a bunch of these small companies into a big one that he has a controlling interest in. It becomes a major player. He gets more financial power. Because, yeah, I mean, you've been campaigning against him. He has influence, but he doesn't have the kind of, like, massive corporation influence. Like, I think you're realizing the more you look into it, it's like, yeah, being a politician in this world is being a step below major corporations. You have to fight for it. And this is probably the weakest they have been, while politicians have been the strongest they've been in decades. So, like, that's a pretty good plan. That's actually a really good plan of, like, now you get to be in both arenas in a big way. There's one thing that you're like, but how would he do this? How does he get rid of Petrochem? Like, they're a huge player. He doesn't have the political clout to just ban them outright. And in fact, you know, they might be able to outbuy him just raw power-wise and get him kicked out if he really raised the stink.
So he bends the arm.
Well, either he bends their arm, but I think with that role, you're like, if I wanted to get rid of a corporation in a city where they are not liked, and I just need to get every other politician to agree on it, what if I blamed them for the downfall of a beloved public service?
Huh.
What if they're the fall guy to get rid of them? He's been talking them up a lot. He's been making them sound like the most benevolent corporation on the face of the planet. If they betrayed his trust, you are 100% sure that he could play that into getting them at least severely hamstrung in the city, if not farther.
So,
you know, your plan that you had of like, hey, let's cause a problem and frame the mayor? You're about 80% sure that that was his plan first, and it's not framing him.
So we're just gonna literally cut into his plan with our own plan. It's even better. He's literally helping us. He doesn't even know it. What a fucking idiot.
If he frames them well enough, you won't be able to frame him.
No, that's fine. But, I mean, if we know Petrochem is who he's trying to frame, and we can tie that up to several months before this, he was actively trying to stop this from happening, but is now suddenly making this work, it's not hard to either... I mean, there's two ways we play this. The first is we go the full hog route and just out that he was literally blocking Petrochem about a week ago, and then suddenly decided to be buddy with him, which easily paints him as he had some stake in this fucking up. Or if we don't need to play the hard route, we play the soft route, which is just, hey, so yeah, Petrochem might have fucked up and didn't do so well, but he put all this faith in them. Like, he clearly had some deep change of heart, despite him clearly having some knowledge that was causing him to stop them or block them before, even if that was perfectly reasonable, which FoXX is sure it wasn't. He clearly had some reason to be stopping them or blocking them, but he suddenly stopped doing that. So either way, he's kind of fucked himself.
Maybe. You're not sure the specifics of his plan, but, like, you gotta be worried that he knows where that, like, how that would fall, and he has other.
Oh yeah, I'm
play.
certain he has some
like,
other contingencies to it, but it's just a matter of I think our biggest setup is, I think Lynx's contingency is like the setup of like outing everything is gonna be the thing that kind of like the straw that topples the whole card house, so to speak, you know.
But yeah, that's sort of what you figure out, and I assume share with the group. If you're like, no, I think he's gonna do a sabotage. I mean, he has all the guards in place for it.
If he's already doing a sabotage, can we hijack that?
I assume that was the plan anyway.
Just putting that out there.
Listen, I love the
have
way
fun
you
with
cook.
Red.
You do whatever you want. Yeah, speaking of
I'm
Red.
gonna propose really quick, simply because I think it'll work really well. FoXX, how about we start this meeting, and the cliffhanger is when you tell what the plan is. How about that? And we'll just play up to that point.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
And then we pick up the rest of it next time, because it's gonna be good. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, I feel like Michelle kind of wants like at least like a settle in, so we know what's gonna happen, and like I kind of also wouldn't mind like at least knowing the plan is like kind of gonna work before we head off to the next session. But I'm fine either way. It's your show, boss.
Well, we'll play it out real quick, and we'll see where that lands. How about that?
I'm fine with that.
But yeah, so it's Sunday morning now. Lynx has been basically burning the midnight oil to get this data, so you get this like Saturday night-ish is when you have this conversation. And so yeah, you have a meeting with the Red Queen, with Red, who runs this club.
Yeah,
It's pretty quiet around here. You know, you're used to it being big and loud. But when you get there, it's actually, there's not a lot of people there because it's not one of the hours they normally have people.
Yeah, I had a couple people with me. I'll actually bring Lynx for this because I think that's probably a fair reason. I think the other person I'll bring with me, who I'm gonna say that I already informed her of the plan and hopefully convinced her to go along with it, even if she doesn't agree it's a good idea. Mariah, because I need her for a very specific part of this plan. It's not a huge part, but it's a very small part.
Then yeah, Lynx, Mariah's there and looks a little grumpy, but is like, I can't tell you what it is if you ask her. Just so you know.
Ladies, trust me. I have this covered.
Lynx is looking very confused and also a little worried and is like,
Correction, love. You look marvelous. What are you wearing, though? I'm curious. Yeah.
I think Lynx is is actually going to be wearing her business dress, right? Like, this is a formal meeting with Red, I'm guessing. So, like, the nice button-down shirt, like, slacks, right? Like, nice pair of shoes.
Oh yeah, FoXX is in
Comfortable
his
but easy
campaign.
to move in.
Yeah, FoXX is in his campaign suit. He's in the Obama tan for this one, you know. He's bringing out the Obama tan for this one. The spring tan suit's coming out for this meeting. But yeah, he'll walk in, see the guards, offer quickly, I'm here for Red. No big deal.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Dumas lets you in. He just like gives you the look.
Yeah, the only thing I would have asked, and Lynx would know this ahead of time, so I would have asked her to make sure that we have to prepare like a presentation, like a little like holographic map of maybe specifically like either all of Night City or specifically South Night City with like the like the factories we plan to buy and start turning into our factories that would work with us, marked off as like highlighted. That's the only thing I need from you.
That's there.
Purple's here, yay!
Yeah.
All right, now I gotta put on a show because Purple's here. Oh dear. All right. So yeah, FoXX is just gonna walk in real calmly. He'll see Red. He'll offer just a very calm, just like gesture,
Yeah, you have never been to her office, but yeah, it's sort of like through the back and then up, and then it's looking over the whole crowd. While you're walking around, you see in the daylight with the windows open, it's more obvious that all the versions of Cheshire you see are definitely holograms. Like they're not quite as stable when he doesn't have club lighting on. But they're all watching you as you come in. There's like 4 of them, but you don't see him until you get to the office, and Cheshire is in there, and Red's like, I asked for him to sit in, someone to keep records straight. Not that I don't trust you.
It's all just the repertoire. I understand. I brought my own entourage. They won't be causing you too much trouble. Just here to spectate. You know Lynx, yes?
We met. It was a lovely evening.
Hello again, milady.
This is Mariah, cousin of mine.
I know of her.
You mind if I use my nerves?
Fine with me.
Perfect. Gotta say, Red, I'm a little bothered it took us this long to meet. I've been a fan of your work for such a long time now.
And yeah, you can look to the left, and there's all those newspaper clippings that are ostensibly not about Red, but...
Oh yeah,
and then all the music awards.
Come on.
Jeez. It's like, well, you did send me my newest promising DJ. It's sad to think that there's so many artists I haven't met that simply have been too trapped by whatever is in their life to come to me.
Couldn't agree more. This life keeps a lot of us trapped in certain places. Some who have creative spirits, like Nikki, get stuck in boring-ass student or corpo lives, forced to grind out a life at a desk for the rest of their existence till their bodies give out. Others, people like me and you, we get forced on the other side of life. We do what we do behind the scenes because we have to. I admire that about you, Red.
It's definitely not something that I think most people would choose, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's the thing, though, Red. I don't believe it's that much of a choice. Not for you. I think you certainly do what you do because you choose to do so, and I, again, admire the work you do. But as I've delved more in the political sphere, and I've certain you've seen the work I've been doing around South Night City, I've recognized that there has to be a balance, you see? The camera work and the speeches, the policy changes. That's just one half of politics. Machiavelli calls this shadow work. Things behind the scenes you do. A true political leader, he believed, should be the kind of person who could smile in someone's face the day after they order their family killed. Hold their hand to the funeral if they have to. I don't agree. Not really, at least. I think putting all the weight of operating on both sides of the world, existing in both light and shadow, it's too much for one soul. I think you have to make allegiances to do these things properly. Red, how much trouble have the cards given you?
She has a small smile and like a little chuckle. It's like, I've spent most of my career after leaving them trying to minimize that trouble, but generally they don't let me move at all without opposing me on principle, so I'd say quite a lot.
Imagine if you controlled that trouble.
How so?
Imagine if, not just the cards, not just the corpos who work behind the scenes and the mercs they hire or the hitmen they send after people, but imagine if everything that operates in the shadows, from the biggest predators to the lowliest booster ganger rat running these streets, had to go through you.
It's a wonderful fantasy, I'll admit.
I don't believe in fantasies, Red. I'll make this very plain for you.
So how do you... Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna make myself mayor of South Night City. Anything that happens above the shadows, anything that comes to the light in this place, I'll have my hands in it. This will certainly mean more political power and clout for me, and I'll make certainly to make very good use of that. You know me enough to know that I'll do that. But I can do good with that too. But you know what? There's one thing I can't do beyond all the infrastructure I can introduce, the policies I can plan, the schools I can fund. I can give people jobs, and at this point he'll indicate to Lynx to show the map. Show the,
Yeah, Lynx, you present this. It's pretty good work of like, yep, this is the map of the city, this is where we'll do this, and it will, help such and such number of people. There's like a growth chart of like housing and jobs, basically. It's pretty good.
You can see from all these numbers that I don't feel like reading. We'll increase jobs, housing, general quality of life in South Night City drastically. But there's one thing any good leader knows you can't always get a good handle on. Crime. You know that, right, Red?
It's true. I definitely have experience in it.
And I could use whatever power I gain to deploy more lawmen out here. Crack down every skull-busting fuck out here who thinks they know something better than me. But that's Stinky's game. And I don't need to play that. You see, controlling crime, that can be done from the shadows. I'm not asking you to change any of the way you do your work. I'm asking you to take on more. I'm not asking you to lower your clientele. I'm asking you to expand them. I'm not asking you to kill your rivals. I'm asking you to dominate them. I'm asking you to rule beside me. He'll indicate to Mariah, who will come forward holding a small box, which he'll go ahead and tell her to open, which contains, it's a golden band with a bright red ruby inset right in the middle. Marry me, Red. We don't have to tell anybody. We can keep this quiet. But anyone who has to know, they'll know. No one fucks with me without fucking with you. And no one gets through you without crossing me.
There's this sort of heavy moment. You pull up the ring and are probably pleased to be like, oh yeah, that matches literally like the color scheme she is wearing right now. She's wearing what seems like a very casual like business suit, button-up red shirt. It's just all these various shades of red. Like she came for a meeting but is pretty casual looking about it.
Of course.
And she looks at this ring and you say marry her, and then there's this odd sort of smile, and then sort of bubbling and then louder laugh. Like, you are an interesting player. I'll give you that. I never know what you're gonna do next. Cheshire's cackling in the corner. It's like, you want to marry me so that we can rule the city side by side like an old emperor and empress.
It's a bit simplified.
You realize the cards will hate you. They'll fight you along the way as much as they can.
Of course. But that's the benefit of us working together, you see. Anything I have at my disposal, you have at yours. And if it helps sweeten the deal, I'd like to let you know a few of what those perks might be. Lynx, you mind sending one of your friends in here real quick? He'll kind of like make a very small gesture to indicate he's talking about the flies. I got friends in high and low places. Let's say a guy I know has webs tied up everywhere. He's working on shipping these things out to all parts of Night City and even beyond that. And Lynx here has a full tap into his network. Not just eyes and ears. Hackability. Wherever I need it. And I'm sure you don't think that's enough. Not just the cards will be after us with whatever shitty boosters they can throw our way. But Stink Miner's on our ass too. Well, certainly on mine. And he's got armies behind him. So we're building one of those too.
There is like this long pause, and I'd like you to, I don't know, persuasion probably?
I'm gonna persuasion and blow my remaining 5 luck points.
That's what I figured. Roll it twice or something, I don't know.
Fucking go. First one. That's a 22. Second one.
7.
21. So I'll take the 22. Do I add the +2 to that still? From like using luck points?
No, these are all +5. I'm just.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'll take the 27 then. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, there's this smile. Cheshire sort of laughing in the corner is like, this is a dangerous game. And Red looks at him, and they have like a weird conversation for a second. It's like, I might just say yes. And with your guys' permission, I think that that's a good place to sort of end this scene.
The last thing Fox will say is, you don't have to sleep with me. But, if you consider that a perk, it's a perk.
There is an even more, there's an even bigger grin. It's like, oh, child, people sleep with me.
Break me, mommy.
Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I think that's sort of this good spot to end. If you guys are down with that.
I am so here for that as an ending. Fuck yes. So now you guys know my fuck-ass plan.
Literal.
Yeah, this has been Neon Lights in Night City, where we constantly change the status quo like every other episode. I love it. It's honestly super chaotic, and it feels great for this city. Purple just out here doing the best jokes.
Listen,
anyways,
I'm
my
here
name
for
is... Yeah, my name is Tate Washburn, and I want my players to give themselves a shout-out and before we head out.
Oh my, can we go reverse order? I have so much shit to shout out.
Ooh,
I'm fine with that. Dan, you want to go first then?
sure. Hi, I'm Land the Dan. You can follow me on Twitter at Land the Dan. I don't know, I'm here sometimes. I don't do much else. But if you want to see
Be here next Saturday.
I'll be here next Saturday for the Seven Sons, our D&D campaign that got very emotional last time.
Yeah.
And
It's just all the
after
feels
that,
all the time.
Right back here being a doctor again. And extorting my estranged family members to get better treatment for my non-estranged family members.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, your estranged family member is kind of a total asshole. So.
Absolute jerk.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
All right.
Anyways, Michelle.
Yeah. I'm Michelle. I don't have socials, so as Nightbot says, I
The
don't.
true netrunner cannot be found.
Not real.
I played Lynx, our netrunner, who has a lot of stuff to do now. Great. Cool. Also, is kind of like, okay, so I got the pictures of like really cute things, and now you're gonna tell me you're gonna marry Red?
Yeah.
And Lynx is currently in like bright, like you can see like the blue screen face.
Mental shock, like
Just.
what?
Yeah. Just blue screen. Like the reason why nothing has been said and why Lynx has not punched FoXX in the face or anything is because she's just blue screened right now.
I expect to punch the moment we leave, but it's fine. Listen. I'm just saying.
Nah.
I'm
Alright,
not
the
saying
next
it, but
time
I'm
you
saying what I'm saying. Anyway.
Nah. The next time you can find me is as a GM. Our first session of A Blade's Will Alliance of Heaven will be happening on Thursday. So, tune in for that.
Mm-hmm. If any of the people who have been signing up for A Blade's Will and haven't already been assigned to a side are watching, some of you will be getting DMs tonight confirming whether or not you will be in the first session for Alliance of Heaven. So be aware of that.
More details on that.
Yep.
In those DMs, so.
And I guess the other than that, you'll see me with actually all of these folks in Seven Sons after having cried out a lot on last week.
Shit
So
got sad.
there will hopefully be less tears.
Yeah, I got some feels planned for next session, but hopefully good feels, not bad feels.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
you.
That's me.
We love you, by the way, Michelle. You're wonderful. I haven't told you that recently, but you should know that. In any case, I guess that ends up on me. What's up, folks? I'm Young Foxy, a.k.a. Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox. You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Big Foxy. That's BIG_FOXXII. I don't go on right-wingers. I slaughter fascists. It's a beautiful thing. You should check it out sometimes. I got a SoundCloud. It's Young Foxy, YUNG-FOXXII. Check me out. Mixtape dropping sometime soon once I feel like it. God, there are so many things you can see coming up for me. Immediately coming up, the first thing you'll see me in is not this Wednesday because we're taking a day off for Darkness because of the Twitter blackout on the 1st of September, but the Wednesday after that, you will see me back over on Critical Misses for Forest and Flame, a Humblewood adventure. It has been so great. There's a shipping war going on involving my character. I'm not sure how it happened, but it's happened already, so enjoy that. After that, you'll catch me...
shipping like cargo or some other kind of shipping?
Oh, you know we're not talking about cargo, motherfucker. That's for this campaign. But beyond that, you'll catch me... that's true. I probably caused it, honestly. That's definitely true. It's mostly my fault. But going beyond that, you'll catch me here next Saturday. Of course, back for the Seven Sons, our D&D homebrew campaign. It's been working itself towards the conclusion very, 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 slowly, and it's building up with more feels happening. Last session was very emotional. There were some awe-striking performances by my players. If you haven't seen last session, please go watch the VOD. It's on our YouTube. It's super good. You will not see me next Sunday for In His Divine Name. We have a player who's out, and we need everybody on hands on deck because in exactly 3 Sundays from today, book your calendars right now, September 19th at noon is the concluding session, the finale of In His Divine Name, my Only War actual play live stream. It has been an absolute fucking slam of a campaign. I have an amazing players, and I cannot wait to conclude the story that they have all managed to put together with me. It's gonna be so fucking good. Oh man, I can't explain how excited I am for that. So if you want to see a campaign finally be brought to an end, that's the 19th. Be ready for that. Other than that, I'll be back here once again on the 12th for this campaign, hanging out with these dope folks, which is gonna be super awesome. I have some other things that are going on. Rescheduled, which was supposed to be tomorrow, but I'm going to make the announcement later. It has been rescheduled, is Transform and Roll Out, my Transformers one-shot. I just got too much busy going on, so I got to move it a little bit. Sorry, guys, but we'll have it happen soon. I got you. Got some awesome players coming for that, so stand tight. Other than that, I'm back on TPK Roleplay every other Friday for Cold Hands, Warm Hearts. We have about, I think, 3 or 4 sessions left for that, and it's been going wild. So hang tight for that. Definitely come in and stand tuned for Michelle GMing A Blade's Will. I'll probably be around stream managing that, so that might be super fun if you want to see me in the background laughing at the players fucking up hilariously. That's my job. Beyond that, that's really all the immediate stream stuff I have going on. I have at least... Oh god, now I have technically 4 upcoming things that will all be launching between like the end of this year and the start of next year. All on...
Stay tuned for announcements on those things.
Yeah, two things
more.
here, one on like somewhere else, and one somewhere else possibly. So fucking just stay tuned. Also, some other shit happening. A lot of things happening. A lot of great things coming on. It's gonna be awesome. You guys have been awesome. Yeah, take us off.
Yeah, my name's Tate Washburn. I am the GM here because I'm running everything that's not them. Always interesting to do. You can find me at Twitter at @kinda_writing. You can find us on our Discord, which you should do because that's where we're going to announce everything first. You also should definitely, follow more of these shows. I think I've already been announced as to which ones I'm in. I'm in Seven Sons. I sometimes help with the Blade's Will ones, wherever I can, generally world building, sometimes filling in background characters, stuff like that. And yeah, talking about finales, I'm playing this kind of loose as to how this ends because it's based entirely on our players' decisions, but like, it's gonna be the next 1 or 2. So
yeah, that was my.
We'll announce it.
Yeah, that was my question for you. I was gonna be like, hey, you said this is possible, like the session before the finale. I was gonna say like, do you have a definitive call? Like, is next session the finale?
The definitive call is going to be that depends on how you guys feel about next session being the finale. I was gonna talk to you guys off stream about that, but like,
listen,
do you want a soft say? Yeah.
I mean, I'll soft say. I feel like this session was incredibly revealing as far as, like, 1, there were some great moments as far as everyone kind of, like, finalizing their place and what the plan is. You know, Lynx doing her job of just, like, railing everything out and figuring it all out. 2, there were some incredible character moments on people who have been very soft-spoken before. Doc, you fucking slaughtered it today. Like, So super, super love that session. And like, I don't know, not to like be like, I did this good thing too, but like, I feel like FoXX was kind of being a bit more of like, hey, like, you guys are my crew. Like, no more backstabbing, no more like questions on who I trust. Y'all are the people I'm rocking with through this, you know that? So like, I don't know. I want to hear other opinions on this too, but like, I'm fine with the next session being the finale. I'm fine with us bringing this home next session.
Dan and Michelle, is that what you wanna soft say yes or no?
Yeah, we can talk about it more later,
we'll
obviously, but like, I'm soft saying yes.
I'm just saying the other two, you guys don't have to commit to that yes or no right now, but if you want to, if you feel like you can
I think
say,
it really depends on where we get to at like in the
That's
moment.
true. That's
Not
true.
like I'm more
That's
concerned about us. But I'm fine with soft saying yes, but like, just judging from how long we tend to RP these moments.
This is true. This is true. How we're gonna say this? Next one's the second to last one.
I like
Most
it.
likely.
I love it. All right, so we got about 2 more sessions. The countdown is ticking, friends.
So
if you haven't been tuned in,
4 weeks. From now.
You got 4 weeks. You got 4 weeks to get caught up on VODs, to catch the remaining shows. Don't miss out. This has been a fucking ride. Tate, you've been telling an incredible show, and we are so excited to bring this home with you. I think I speak for everybody in saying that. It's been awesome, and we love you a lot.
Love you guys for following us. Love you, Twitch, and we'll see you next time.
We will see y'all later. Thanks for coming in, all right?
Bye.
We're throwing our raid over. We'll figure that out in a little bit, but whoever we're going to raid, you'll know soon. See you soon. Bye, loves.
Bye.